What's going on, everybody? Brett here. I'm back playing some more Artifact. Whew. The last few times I've played, I've been a little bit unhappy with my drafts. We can get into that as we draft. So without further ado, guys, let's just start. Today's going to be a Phantom draft. It's going to be for prizes. We're going to put a ticket on the line, and let's get in here. So I was somewhat unhappy with my draft, not because I felt like I drafted poorly, but because I tried to lock into some colors early on, and yeah, just never quite got the payoffs that I was looking for. Okay, so here, in my evaluation, guys, I'm not an expert in Artifact, so don't take me the wrong way, but I do play a lot of card games. I do follow a lot of card games. I think my card evaluations are pretty fair, if not the best. So when I'm looking at these cards right now, what I'm seeing, I think Bloodseeker is a fine hero since they changed his stats a bit. I think they gave him an extra HP or two, and his card is actually quite versatile. So I don't hate Bloodseeker, and if I were to take Bloodseeker, I would be looking pretty hard at Disciple of Nevermore, which is a pretty great finisher in a lane. He gives a ton of extra attack if you're able to go wide. Probably would look to play something like a black-blue deck and try and go wide with summons. I also like Thunderhide Pack as a great top-end finisher for green. And I think what I want to pick here, also Remote Detonation has been good in a lot of different drafts that I've played. It can often feel like a one-sided board wipe. If your opponent goes very hard in one lane and you drop a blue hero down, you can end up wiping, the entire side of the board -1, So it's a very loaded card. I think I'm going to take Thunderhide Pack Remote Detonation. I think they have the highest upside. Disciple of Nevermore would be a solid pick as well. And let's see if we can get a green or blue hero. Okay. Horn of the Alpha is an amazing top-end card. Pretty difficult to get to 25 gold unless you're in black. And the best cards here, I think, are Ogre Conscript, Hipfire, Foresight, and Horn of the Alpha. I'm kind of tempted to take this, even though it's very unlikely that it will see play in our deck. And then from here, I could take Foresight and try and remain blue. I think this is a great card in draft. The Magic equivalent would be something like Divination, for those of you who know Magic. Also, the black here is just fine. I could take 2 black cards and go into that. Also, Ogre Conscripts, of course, is just a big dumb idiot who does a good job at winning you a lane. You know what? I think I'm going to pass on the Horn of the Alpha. If I'm not black, I feel like my odds of getting to 25 gold are pretty low. And we're going to pick up the Ogre Conscripts, maybe look to add a 3rd color. Ooh, and we're instantly rewarded. That's nice. That feels really good. The black in here is a little deep, but also Tresden Standard is a fine card. So Bristleback has Viscous Nasal Goo, and is just an incredibly powerful stat-wise hero. And then Tresden Standards is a modification that we can give to him. Give this hero and its allied neighbors +1 attack and 1 armor this round every time you play a red card. So we can look to be perhaps heavier red. Ogre Corpse Tosser is kind of cool as well. Helm of the Dominator is more in line with the type of top end that you could expect to play in the draft. I think 19 gold is realistic for a non-black deck, whereas the Horn of the Alpha in the mid-20s is just so high. I'm going to take Satyr Duelist here and Ogre Corpse Tosser. Ogre Corpse Tosser does 2 piercing damage to the enemy tower after an allied melee creep dies. I've seen this guy do a lot of damage. He's also just kind of a big wall. Yeah, I like him. He comes down on the 5 mana turn, which is pretty quick in this game. And Satyr Duelist can single-handedly win you a lane if you place him out to the side. Okay. And I don't hate these 2 effects. I'm trying to steer clear of black. I've drafted a lot of black recently. And it's just mostly a preference thing, guys. Black is great, has some of the best heroes. Ooh, Outworld Devourer. Stun a unit this round, give that unit damage immunity this round. Astral Imprisonment. And his passive is, after you play a blue card, there's a 50% chance to restore 2 mana. He's a card that relies really heavily on synergy that we may not be able to assemble in this type of a draft. Defend the Weak is a great early play in green. I also like Combat Training and Poise to Strike, and Glyph of Confusion is also quite nice. Let's not accidentally pick him. Whenever any unit enters this lane, stun it this round. Another 6-drop. Whereas combat training, I think we can get more combat trainings. Obviously, this is a rare card. We'll value that and we'll take it here. Prelix. That's a cool card I don't get to play with very often. We may take that. Golden Ticket is an excellent item. It can just single-handedly win you games. Whispers of Madness, very interesting. Aghanim Sanctum is a powerful card. But if we're taking Prelix, I think we're trying to firmly cement ourselves in a going wide, lots of creep type strategy. And if that's the case, I would love to have a second Satyr Duelist. I think it's a very close 3-way tie between Sanctum, Duelist, and Golden Ticket. And with, you know, Selfish Cleric kind of running a little bit behind. But I'm very happy to have those cards. We'll take a Martyr here. And Sucker Punch can do a lot of work. We want to make sure we have enough red cards for this deck. Also, Caught Unprepared on turn 2 can sometimes stun lock a hero for multiple turns. I've seen it happen. This only applies to blocking an allied red hero. It's a very narrow card, Sucker Punch. If your deck is mostly red, this is like an MVP card. But if it's not, it feels a lot worse. I think we'll go double green there. And Rising Anger, it even has Bristleback on the card, so I think we have to take it. But after you play a non-item card costing 2 or less, modify this hero with +1 attack. It counts itself, so at the very least, you will get +1 attack. So Bristleback will become, you know, a 9/12. And any low-cost cards that we play will affect that. With this card, you really want to pick up cards like this, Poised to Strike. We could just grab Strafing Run. Don't know if we might pick up a Zeus or something like that that makes these cards a little more versatile. But Poised to Strike works well with Rising Anger. New Orders is perfect. That's the type of card I like to see. And Luna. Okay. Okay. There are some very interesting picks here. Rebel Decoy is very useful. Arcane Assault is nice for getting initiative back, drawing a card. And Bronze Legionnaire, Hellbell Crippler, they're just solid low drops. But I think we're going to take Luna and the Bronze Legionnaire. And hope we don't regret that. Okay, what do we see? What do we see? So enough magic, but I'm leaning towards modify Rampaging Hellbear with +4 attack after the combat phase. He's essentially another Satyr Duelist, but with different stats. He takes longer to come online, but when he does, he's huge. And I also kind of like the Blacksmith here. I also like the daggers and the pike. We haven't really picked up much in the way of items yet, but we do have weapons. So it's not a high priority. Enough magic could be great. It just wrecks certain decks. You know what, I'm going to take the Blacksmith. I'm going to value the body on the board. And I'm kind of happy we took Luna because we're not, so far we haven't seen a great hero option. Take Combat Training. Doesn't care what color it goes to. You just modify a hero. And then the Messenger Rookery. Having the ability to choose a target every turn in any lane I want is a pretty strong ability for 1 mana. Another New Orders. And let's see, Rising Anger. Doesn't care what color card we actually play. Fractured Timeline is a fun card that sometimes does stuff. We already have a Poised to Strike. If we didn't have a Poised to Strike, I would take that. Right now in my mind, it's between Better Late Than Never and Fractured Timeline. I think I'm going to take Fractured Timeline. It's a card with a lot of upside. Assault and Rookery. Don't know if we'll run 2 Rookeries. Ooh, Trinket Protector. That's pretty much the green guy we were looking for. That feels cool. Ooh, there's so many good cards here. Burning Oil, another Hellbear, and a Blessing. Even this Crippler, this Hellbear here would be great. Oh, man. These are such good cards. It's really hard to choose. The blessings are the type of effects we really want in this deck because we're trying to go wide. But the Hellbears can, like I said, single-handedly win lanes if you get them into the right positions. I'm going to take this only because it's rare, and we may... I see a lot of these in most drafts. It's kind of surprising I haven't seen any of them yet. Burning Oil is the card that I'm really regretting not being able to take right here. Ooh, and then we get past one. That feels great. And a Dimensional Portal, which fits in our theme quite well. Cloak, Plate, I would love to have these. Troll Soothsayer I would like to have. He draws you an extra card every round, or she does. And it has a pretty big body. It's a 2/8. I think this was a 2/6 at some point. I could have sworn, but a 2/8, I mean, that just stays on the board, draws you many, many extra cards. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with our picks. We're doing fine. Thunderstorm. Decoy, Cleric, Plate. Might just go Decoy, Thunderstorm here. Luna's giving us some board clear, but really not a lot. Take Fight Through the Pain. And One For Me allows us to copy an item. You can set up a lot of situations with this card where you copy your best item or you copy your opponent's best item, and it feels really good when you're able to do that. Yeah, you always get lightning strikes. I'm sure for those of you out there who love lightning strike, you're watching me pass them like, why is he passing all of these? You can usually get them. They go pretty late. And I'm liking Chen here. Fully heal each ally, give allies damage immunity this run. It's a 7 cost card, but once you make it to that point in the game, you're pretty strong. And another Thunderhide pack kind of closes out our need for late game cards and finishers. I would love to get a lot of black here. Maybe pick a fight. Ooh, there's Vesture. Yeah, we're going to take a Vesture here. This is our top end card. Equipped Hero has 3 armor and rapid deployment. Your tower has 3 armor. Very powerful card. And pick a fight goes well with our red. We're going to have quite a lot to choose from in terms of like high-end stuff we want. We only have 1 red hero. It's a strong red hero, but it's only 1. And I don't think this is really much of a choice. Probably Crippling Blow. We already have a Chainmail, otherwise I would take that. Like Combat Training, Blessing maybe? Second Blade and our first Juke. Oh, we get like a last pick Crippler Vestments. That's not bad. What we didn't get is any of the green cards that boost, you know, minion strength. That would have been nice, because that's kind of what this deck is missing. So guys, as I start to build this deck, Bristleback definitely goes in first, as well as Luna and Treant, I think. And then perhaps Prelix, Chen, something like that. I like that. I think that's fine. Okay. So Burning Oil goes in. As I build decks differently than other people. Everyone kind of has their own style. What I like to do is I like to go through and put the cards in the deck that I am pretty much dead on positive are going to make it into the deck. So there, that's 12 cards in red. You know, these are the best red cards in my opinion that I want. It's kind of balanced out, right? Our blue gives us a lot of top end. We want both of these Duelists and both of these Hellbears. I think we want both of our Decoys and our Martyr and our Defend the Weak. So that's 16 green. Well, yeah. Okay. I like card draw in a 3-color deck. It allows us to kind of dig for the color cards that we want. You at least want 1 Messenger Rookery. Okay. This is 40 cards. I don't mind going past 40 cards. I would play probably as many as 44. but you definitely do see a drop in consistency the deeper you go past 40. Before we go too hard into that, let's put Fester in Golden Ticket. We can play Broadsword. We want all 3 of our Traveler's Cloaks. Probably 1 Blade of the Vigil and a Chainmail. And I also don't hate playing the Vestments as well. It's a way to heal. It's something that our deck can't do currently, and that might be nice to have. I think 16 is the right amount of green. Our green cards that are kind of on the chopping block right now are still good cards. And our red, we could perhaps think about cutting something. We don't want to have too much red because we only have 1 red hero. But I think that the goal is to play Bristleback and never let him die. And that's a pretty easy thing to do with Bristleback. That's not an easy thing to do with a Prelix. But Bristleback's an 8/12 that gains armor when he kills stuff. So keeping him in the fight isn't all that difficult. But I would like to find a way to get maybe like 2 more blue cards in here. Fractured Timeline is fun, but it may not be what we want. I think I'm going to play in One For Me and Fractured Timeline. Call that good. This is a very interesting deck. It's looking pretty fun. But if we're going to play Rising Anger, I would consider trying to squeeze in another New Orders and perhaps even like a Poised to Strike or Fight Through the Pain, something like, well, not a Fight Through the Pain. It only works on red heroes, which I really don't like in a deck that only has 1 red hero. And I think that makes sense to you guys, I'm sure. So we have, for our kind of unique modifications, we have Rising Anger and we have Tresden Standards. It's tempting, but I think we're going to call this good. This is a solid deck. And I'm pretty happy with it. I wish we had been able to pick up more powerful items, but I think our deck quality is pretty high. So let's register, and we'll definitely jump into the first match here and let you guys see how the deck performs. And I'll try and be very clear about what my intentions are. This game is very similar in a way to games like chess, where you have to think multiple turns ahead. For those of you who aren't familiar with TCGs, you know, I'm not making these decisions lightly. I'm really pulling from my knowledge of the cards, my knowledge of TCGs in general, and a lot of like almost poker-esque ideas about what I think my opponent will be doing. Oh, that's going to be good. So what I'm thinking here, guys, I'm looking at my Messenger Rookery, and I can play it in any lane. And if I bring it over here, I'll be able to change the attack target of my Bristleback to hopefully kill that Ursa. And since it's like turn 1, it's pretty unlikely that our opponent will have a way to save that Ursa. And getting an Ursa off the board turn 1 feels pretty nice. So we'll see what our opponent can do. It would have been decent in this lane. We could have made Luna attack the Lion, and it would have been down to 1, and then there was a chance that the next turn, Lucent Beam would have killed either one of them. So, could have been a pretty sweet play, either way. But I love the idea of getting rid of that Ursa. And Zenyatta did not proc on Bounty Hunter, so he's not going to get a lucky turn 1 kill on our Treant Protector. It's a 50-50 chance to get +4 attack, which would have put him at 11 and would have killed our Treant Protector. And I brought up the whole, like, you know, let me walk you through my thoughts. Because, you know, some of you out there that are watching, a few of you, you know, have said things like, why didn't you play this? Why didn't you play that? And sometimes, yeah, I straight up make mistakes. And that's a part of, you know, playing a newer trading card game. However, a lot of times, maybe I'm thinking, you know, a little further ahead. And sometimes I'm even thinking a little further ahead with poor information. So it's really hard to say, we're going to buy this and try to save our Treant if he doesn't get Zenyatta procced. as I'm commenting, sometimes it's difficult. You know, I'm pretty new to YouTube. I'm pretty new to commenting on my own, you know, card playing. So I do my best, guys. I hope I'm being as clear as maybe I can be. So if the Lucid Beam hits here, we're happy because it takes a blocker away from Luna. Ooh, and one for me. Okay. Our opponent didn't have any gold, so they didn't buy any items, which is nice. And one for me, you know, as soon as he plays an item, yeah, we don't care about that at all. So our opponent essentially, if they don't have a big play here, they essentially wasted their mana drain. If they have a 6 mana play, then this is going to be pretty smart. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. This is a nice little 2-card combo from the opponent there. But I'm not super worried. If he doesn't get his Zenyatta procced, which I think we'll know when that lane starts. It's okay, he did not get it. So here we can Fountain Flask.
That's more like it.
And I think we should probably Rose Leaf Druid in front of this guy. And that'll put us at parity with the number of creeps in this lane. And then we'll possibly have the means to put a Satyr Duelist out on the side. If we put a Satyr Duelist here, it'll take it 3 turns, I think. Maybe 2 turns to chunk through this guy. But then he'll be at like 1 health. I'd rather get down the Rose Leaf Druid. We'll be at 6 mana in this lane next turn. We'll see what our opponent can do with 4 mana. Happy for us that the Branches of Iron from the Treant Protector is giving our neighbors +2 armor. Okay, that was a good play, but I think we're going to kill his Bounty Hunter now. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't the best for our opponent. He prevents us from playing blue in the left lane, which, you know, he could be worried about an upcoming, I forget what her signature card is called, but it's Eclipse, I think is what it is, yes. And we have a stack of Barroom Brawler because we managed to kill that Ursa. So he's now an 8-2-12, getting that +2 armor whenever you kill a hero that's blocking you. Very good. And I actually think I want to save my gold here. I would have loved to get this golden ticket. This could have like single-handedly won us the game. I'd love to draw a card as well, but I think we'll pass. And we should probably drop Chen in this lane. Not sure where he'll go here. I mean, he may want to abandon this lane altogether. And if he does that, it's actually quite interesting. Our options here are quite varied. He could double drop mid, abandon this lane, and then we're feeling pretty weak here because our heroes are actually not very good brawlers. But I don't feel like we need to abandon the left lane at all. But if we do, I mean, these cards are essentially stranded. So I think we go here and let him, you know, dink around in this lane, and we try and win mid heavily. So yeah, he did exactly what we thought he would. He double drops, and we'll drop Luna in the left lane next turn. And we can barracks mid from that lane if we don't draw something better to do. Hand of God is a card that I was hoping to see, and Eclipse as well. So that sets us up nicely for the next several turns. And he's going pretty hard in the mid lane because I think he realizes the same thing that I realize. He or she, I don't know the gender of my opponent. But they're realizing, I think, the same thing that I am, which is that the mid lane is the contentious lane. And I honestly think I could contend with this lane if I drop Luna and get a certain type of draw. Like dropping Luna, having her passive kill Lion right off the bat would feel pretty sweet. And then this will have 4 charges, and it'll be able to deal essentially 12 damage, which is enough to kill these guys. Especially if one of her passive procs kills that. Okay, 2 damage on Chen. Does that do anything? It doesn't actually do anything. Interesting. Maybe they have another play.
Ready for bow.
Okay, that makes this hero a lot scarier. His passive is Relentless Rebel. He has rapid deployment, so when he dies, he comes right back the next turn, which is really good with these Stonehall items. If you can equip him very heavily with those types of items, he could be very difficult to take out.
I bring wisdom and strength.
So what I want to do here is I want to play this Duelist and hope to curve into Lion. And if he doesn't curve, then it doesn't matter. He's going to become a 5/5 next turn, and he's going to start ticking away on the clock for us.
See how your arm grows strong.
Ooh.
You won't survive.
Well, he kills both of our green. Dang, I don't have an answer for that. That feels pretty bad. I was hoping to be able to Hand of God next turn and just kind of win this lane. But there's nothing we can do. We're trading a lot. I mean, opponent's making the big trades, and at the end of the day, we have this Duelist here to do the damage for us. But our Bristleback, definitely our strongest combatant, is somewhat stranded in that lane. There's a lot of good options here. I think we buy this, see what's behind it. Oh, the Vesture. Yeah, let's get our value from our gold right now. I think this is becoming a crucial turn for us. 100% expect the Bounty Hunter to go mid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I think I'm going to Eclipse this lane. Unfortunate that he was able to get another minion there, but if we're able to Lunescent Beam or whatever it's called, or Lucent Beam, and hit Lion, which is a 25% chance. We got it! 25% chance. Take me to the casino, man. And now we can Eclipse. Ooh, and we get the kill. But he'll come back. And probably drop him in the mid lane. But that's kind of okay. Ooh, we got 2 walls. This is unfortunate because what I'm hoping to do is give him another lane that he feels like he needs to race in. Yeah, we'll call this good. I'm happy to get the gold off of this guy. He gets rapid deployment. Yeah, he gets to come right back, but we still get the gold. So no Zenyatta procs again for our opponent. That's gotta feel pretty bad.
Stand as an example for others.
We'll cloak and then shield her.
I feel safer already.
And that keeps her around. Just need to get our green heroes back. So we can start chaining Hands of Gods together. Okay, he now has siege damage. Which is not nothing. We can barracks this lane here, or we can copy his Book of the Dead. Which I don't hate. But I think barracks is going to be crucial for us winning this lane. What it does is it's going to summon us an extra melee creep, and it's going to let us go wider and wider and wider. Forward charge. Okay. Interesting choice. Siege damage essentially is like trample in Magic. It's going to go like over the top to do more damage to us here. But our opponent's not really winning any lanes. And we now have a Town Portal Scroll. So next turn at the end of... Well, at the beginning of the next turn, we have 6 damage here. We can just pull out our Bristleback and we'll be fine. Ooh, golden ticket over a full heal. I actually think we do this and pass the golden ticket. That heal is going to allow us to keep Prelix up, hopefully. At the end of the day, I think we need to do this. Maybe even drop both of them. Something like this, potentially. Or like this. We can use Holy Persuasion to steal the healthy wall. That's the best creep on the board right now. And we can Hand of God in both lanes. We can save Luna, and we can save Prelix, and we won't have to use our flask. Wow, that's a good draw for next turn. Nice. So I think we Hand of God here. And then we'll steal this guy. Nice. So he basically buffed this dude for us. That was kind of him. And we can give... Let's make sure we don't want this on another hero. We would love to get our initiative back, but I don't know if that's a thing that we can do. Our opponent needs to play something in order for that to happen. Because without initiative, he can Finger of Death kill our Prelix. And that sucks, but we still will have Hand of God. If he does anything besides Finger of Death right off the bat, then we're in good shape.
Force surrender in 30 seconds.
Force surrender? Get out of here with that. Okay.
They won't escape me.
Yeah, if they do anything but burst down Prelix right now with Finger of Death.
You were safe from me.
They killed the Satyr. Interesting. Very interesting play. We'll Hand of God here. And perhaps even give the daggers to the Prelix. Next turn we'll be able to drop a Thunderhide pack in either the left or mid lane. Either or will be fine. So Prelix is looking like a real hero right now. With some decent stats. Alright. And now we pick up Bristleback. Hit him for exact damage. That feels really good. And now it's just a matter of like, hey, which lane do we want to win? Our opponent went really hard in the center lane. 3 heroes there. They can drop Lion left lane. We're going so wide in the mid lane. I don't know how our opponent deals with that. We're going to go left lane. I feel like we're almost winning 2 lanes at once, and I just don't think he can cover us. As long as we keep Prelix alive, we're doing just fine. Ooh, defend the weak. I like that. So we can play a lot of little things, or we can play a big thing. Yeah, he takes us off of blue there. We don't really care about that. I think we just drop our Thunderhide pack. Kill his Lion, deal a ton of damage. Thunderhide pack, in addition to having huge attack damage, it also has 6 siege, so he's just trampling over. And our opponent's going to concede the game there. No surprise. We were certainly far ahead on board. And that was a good game. We could take a look at our opponent's deck really quick to see if they had maybe any kind of big finishers that we weren't aware of. Oh wow, 2 packs and 2 tickets. Yeah, let's open some packs, guys. First we'll look at our opponent's deck. Very curious to see, oh, they had like an artillery trebuchet. 3 trebuchets they didn't see. and 2 unsupervised artilleries. Wow. They threw away some of their cards early, like forward charge, but I think they were just trying to like get some advantage. Home field advantage, speaking of. Yeah, very interesting. Awesome. And we leveled up our draft skill. So let's open up some packs, guys. I've just been getting these cards and selling them. I'm not interested in playing standard.
It was in the early days of the revolution, when people were scared to even gather at night.
Ooh, rare card.
I met in the tailor's
Path of the
house.
Dreamer. I don't think that's any of these cards are particularly valuable. But I've been selling them, and I've more than made my money back for this game, which is pretty cool. It's not very often you can buy a game and then get your money back just by playing it. Mercenary Exiles. Interesting. Alright, I don't know if any of those are good or expensive, but we can take a look real quick. We can go to sell cards. Don't need to look at excess. Sort by cost. Market price. Oh wow, Bolt of Damocles is 50 cents. And this Mercenary Exiles is 45 cents. So we can see if we can sell that. It's pretty cool. All of these little 1 cent cards. You can kind of like disenchant them. You recycle them. And try and get like tickets. So let's see if we can do that. Kind of show you guys how this process works. Very similar to Hearthstone. Getting like dust. And we can just recycle all of these and try and get ourselves a lot of tickets. So we never really have to pay for them. I love this. This is the type of thing that keeps me playing a game for a long time. I got really hard into Hearthstone for a long time, but I didn't enjoy the grind of trying to get just the minimum gold just so I could do the arena. The arena and the kind of guided, story-driven campaigns are like my favorite parts of Hearthstone. And if I have to like grind to do that, I'm not interested. And I'd rather sell these and make a $1.50 or something like that. So yeah, let's recycle these. Recycle. Perfect. I was hoping the progress would save for the next ticket. But sitting up to 11 tickets, that's pretty nice. And then I'm going to go ahead and sell these off camera, guys. Thank you so much for watching. More videos to come in this series. I appreciate those of you who give support to the channel by either subbing, liking the video, or just leaving a comment telling me if I saw a play or you saw a play that I missed. I don't mind taking constructive criticism. I just hope that I explain myself clearly. You can see where my thought process was. That way, even if I did make a mistake, you at least know why I made the mistake. Maybe because I misread a card or misunderstood an interaction or something like that. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. My name is Brett. My channel is Good Talk Gaming. And I will see you in the next one. Take care.